summary for the day of 709 for the 2nd of February. Let's do a bit of conclusion. There's not much happening over the past 24 hours, and for this video, it will not be split because the conclusions are probably not going to be very long. There's not a lot of frontline changes, so it's going to be a consistent report. But again, I want to highlight, if you for the future, when there's a lot of things happening, I will split up the videos because you guys keep complaining about the videos being too long. So I will split it up into shorter videos. And so for those that subscribing and supporting DPA financially, you're gonna have the full long version in Patreon, Boosty, YouTube members, exclusive, whatnot. You're gonna see this under the paywall. For those that are unable to support DPA financially, you can still watch everything. Everything is still free. You're still able to watch it, but it will be split up in the DPA War channel or the main channel accordingly. Usually the conclusions will be on the main channel. The rest, the frontline changes and the SIP rep will be on the DPA War channel. Otherwise, the conclusion wise, Ivanivka continues to be the case. The Russians still attacking. So this is the second day already, first and second. So this is a interesting continuation. Previously, they fought for 3 days. So I'm not sure how many days the Russians are going to push here. Reinforcement over at Kromalny is significant because this corroborates the information, or not it's not information, my analysis that the Russians are going to push further, and that they need the reinforcement in order to secure the lines and then send an attack towards Pishchane from two sides. So this is probably going to happen. Ukrainians are desperate to push the Russians back from Terbaivka because it's dangerous, because this is going to be super dangerous for the Ukrainian side. So this is brewing, and this is definitely going to be very scary for the Ukrainian side. We move on. Svetovay front went super quiet, which is interesting. Nothing over the Crimea, to be honest. And over the Vasily, I mentioned before about the high grounds. These are the various hills that is on the north of Vasily. The Russians will have to capture these hills, all these hills, in order to secure Vasily. So we have this report about fighting in the area of Vasily, which is interesting. I'm not sure if it's actually here, because the Russians actually say the Ukrainians attacking towards Bilohorivka, the Donetsk region in this area. So the fighting is probably over this area. If I zoom out a bit, you can see Bilohorivka. Okay, actually you don't need to zoom out. So Vasily is here, Bilohorivka is here. The Russian Defense Ministry said the Ukrainians are attacking towards Bilohorivka, but this might be a projection. This might actually be the Russians attacking from the direction of Bilohorivka upwards. And which then, if this is true, then it corroborates what I mentioned in the conclusion yesterday, which I did mention that you should watch, because the Russians is likely to attack from this direction to capture the first hill, and then go towards westward to capture the rest of the hill. Then they can secure Vasily. So the attack coming from Bilohorivka towards this direction makes sense, and which is also why we are seeing the Russian Defense Ministry talking about Ukrainians attacking towards Bilohorivka in this direction, because sometimes the Russian Defense Ministry does the same thing as the Ukrainians. They project. Obviously they are the one attacking, but they say that it's the opponent that is attacking because they count the counter attack as an attack. So this is looking to be exactly panning out to be how I thought it's going to be. We will monitor and see how this goes. It's very, very interesting to see my theories getting played out. The rest of the Bakhmut front is very Bakhmut. There's nothing much to talk about. So otherwise, conclusions on the ADFK is interesting. Like I mentioned, we for the first time went faster than Ryba and Deep State. So end up there's no news because the news was reported yesterday. I already blocked it yesterday. So this is actually interesting. The Russians are pushing in this unusual pincer, because this pincer is actually into the city. So this is not what a pincer usually is. Pincer is actually used for encirclement. Should be like this. But the Russians can't push out. These two push has been failing for a long time. So I think the Russians just want to draw the attention of the Ukrainians into Avdiivka itself, and bring the fight within Avdiivka, and then weaken the lines outside. Then they can do an encirclement. So the consideration for the Ukrainian side, It's not just to hold a city, which is going to be very, very difficult. As I mentioned, there's only one road in, which is this road. This is the only road in. So the consideration is sending enough forces to hold the entire front line. The Ukrainians need to hold the entire front line in the north, entire front line in the south, then they can actually concentrate on the fighting at Avdiivka. So a lot of reinforcement will be needed to secure this outer flank in order to concentrate on the inside fighting. So this is going to be very, very challenging for the Ukrainians side, because the pressure is on. The Russians are pushing very heavily. There's a lot of rumors about the lack of ammunition, the outclassing of the artillery battles. So this is going to be very, very, very challenging for the Ukrainian side. And the Ukrainians, according to certain information, is banking on FPV drones as a replacement for artillery, for the lack of artillery systems. And it can be useful because FPV is a lot more accurate, but but you cannot rain suppression fire. So that is the main thing. And of course, Zolita Neva continues. So this is the one I'm very, very curious. Watch the conclusions, how I talk about how the Russians can operate Zolita Neva into a defeat of the entire front line here. And otherwise, the rest, again, Nesteryanka, same thing. This is a bit like Zolita Neva. Nesteryanka can cause major problems in the Orikhiv sector and collapse the entire salient, the Ukrainian salient at Robotine and Verbove. And otherwise, Krimky, nothing much to talk about. And that's it. This is the summary for the day of 709 for the 2nd of February. Do attack the like button, bombard it, shell it, murder it, and yeah, but click one time enough. Don't click 2 times. Click 2 times is your like disappear. So and I'll see you guys in the next update.